the innocent pastoralists for engaging in their legitimate businesses. It is against this backdrop we'll be engaging with the national president, Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Macban, Baba Usman Ngazarma, to get the perspective of the umbrella body of pastoralists in Nigeria over the controversial clause inserted in the bill. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Hamza.
And happy Democracy Day.
Thank you very much.
Yes. But before the conversation, here are some tidbits. The Supreme Court on Thursday reserved judgment in the suit filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, on behalf of the federal government against the 36 states governors of the Federation. The suit is seeking full autonomy for the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. In the suit, the federal government wants the Apex Court to enforce the autonomy of the local government by, among other things, stopping state governors from appointing caretaker committees to administer local governments in their states. And elsewhere, Justice Liman Mohammed of the Federal High Court in Kano on Thursday ruled that it has the jurisdiction to hear the case instituted by a traditional title holder in Kano Emirate, Aminu Babba Dan Agundi, regarding the dethronement of Aminu Ado Bayero as the 15th Emir of Kano by the Kano State government. The ruling comes just days after a Kano State High Court ordered a substituted service on Bayero and 4 other dethroned emirs in Kano State in a related case filed by the state government. Justice Mohammed's ruling affirmed that Bayero's case can proceed before it to ensure that he has the opportunity to contest the legality of his dethronement. And closely related to this, the Kano State Police Command has banned Daba activities during the forthcoming Eid al-Kabir celebration in the state. A statement issued on Thursday by the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Usainu Gumel, noted that the ban became necessary to sustain the peace by the Police Command in conjunction with all the relevant security stakeholders. He said the ban on all contending parties has been placed, restraining both from conducting Daba activities for the upcoming Eid al-Kabir. We will now take a short break, and when we return, the conversation commences. Stay with us. Welcome back, Malam Baba. Once again, welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
Of course, as usual, we always start with top issues of the day, and ironically, it's like they have 1 or 2 things to do with your constituency. The first is the reservation of a judgment by the Supreme Court on the back and forth on independence of local government areas. So what is your take on even the powers for local government to control their affairs?
The question has come as a coincidence to me because I have been a local government staff. I started from the scratch in the local government service.
Oh, you worked with the local government?
Until when I reached to the position of the local government secretary, I served as a treasurer for 10 years, then became a local government secretary. For them to have autonomy is very important because local governments contribute a lot in solving the economic problem at the grassroots. So for them to have their funds coming directly to them will help in no small way in checking so many aspects of the economy. Because during our time, we used to receive our allocation directly from...
This must be in Fune local government.
In Fune, I served in so many local governments in Borno State and Yobe State as well. Because I have been a treasurer right from Borno State.
Are you trying to say before the creation of Yobe?
Before the creation of Yobe, I became a local government treasurer in 1988. 1988.
Quite a long time.
And Yobe was created in 1991 when I was serving as a treasurer in Kaga local government Benishek of Borno State. So when Yobe was created, I came back to Yobe State as a local government treasurer before I became a local government secretary. So giving them autonomy is very, very important because now as it is, the local government don't function at all. because they produce a budget that they don't implement. So to the local governments, as I see it, the budget, even as a guide to financial control in local government, doesn't work, because they produce a budget that they don't implement. The state governments always implement the budget for them. So for them to have autonomy is just like for them having the full implementation of their budgets. So, and it is only when you do this that the other aspects of the local government can also work very well. The auditing, the staffing, the functions of the local government service commissions, the functions of the local government audit will become very clear, and it will be very clear for them to work in checking the activities of the local government. But as it is now, it's a confusion that is happening in the local government service.
During your days, how functional and how impactful were local government to the people in the grassroots?
Very, very impactful, because during my days, when you go to local governments in the morning, you see it's just like a market. People are there. Services are being rendered. Water is being provided. Health services are being given. And so many other things. Salaries are paid as when due, at the right time. Staff are always there in the office.
So they oil the economy.
You say?
They oiled the economy. The economy at the grassroots was moving.
It was moving seriously. But when the states started interfering into the local government activities, so they go to any of the local government in the north and see, during the days when the staff are supposed to be working, you can hardly find 10, 20 people in the local governments. Nobody. Because all their services have been taken over, has been taken to the state Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. So they don't do anything apart from the payment of salaries. Most of these services that they are supposed to render are being rendered by the state.
I had cause to interview a deputy governor, I remember, who served as commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs. And when this question came up, he said the reason why, in their wisdom, those who crafted the constitution that we are using now to create joint account was because the recruitment process in the local government as per leadership was very weak. So you have people who don't have the capacity to even manage the resources very well. So they saw it as if it was their personal estate. And that was why they said, okay, state governors should have a say on how local government should be spending their money. How can we now strike a balance between influence from the state government and then what elected local government chairman should be able to do so that the services will be rendered to the people?
Well, this is the right step that the federal government is now taking. Okay. For the local governments to get their full autonomy, you have to give them their money directly. Let them prepare their budget and implement their budget. Let the local government audit function the way it is supposed to function. Let the local government service commissions also function the way they are supposed to function. In those days, from level 1 to level 6 are being employed by the local government. There is a local government staff service committee that is supposed to look at issues of employment, discipline, and what have you, promotions of the local governments from level 1 to 6. Once you pass to level 7, you'll be taken into the unified local government service, where the local government service commission now starts from level 7 up to level 16. They take over the activities of staffing of the local governments. So during those days, there is a relationship, there is coordination between the local government service commissions and the local government audit. So also the mother ministry as the supervising body, looking over the functions of the audit on one side, and also looking over the functions of the local government service commissions on the other side, and then the functions of the local governments as they are. The way the local government was handled by the 1979 Constitution was the best. The 1979 Constitution has explicitly talked about local government, how the service is going to be, what are the functions of the local government.
Everything well defined.
Everything well defined in the 1979 Constitution. But if you go to the 1999 Constitution, the provisions for the way the local government are supposed to function is just very vague. There's nothing much. That it only talks about the existence of the local government, 774 of them. That is much that the Constitution spoke about the local government. It wasn't elaborate like the 1979 Constitution. The 1979 Constitution was the best Constitution for the local governments to function as a third tier of government. But now, the way it is being done, me as an old local government staff, I am always surprised on how can the local government account for their stewardship. I served as a treasurer. I know what we were doing then. We have everything, all the books of accounts are there. The main books of accounts, the subsidiary books of accounts, we all maintain them. The personal emolument register are there. We're at a stage, at a time, we know the number of staff we have, we know their levels and what have you, and we know how much we pay as remuneration to our staff. Then we know what percentage we are supposed to budget as capital expenditure, what percentage we are supposed to budget as recurrent expenditure. What are those things that we are supposed to do? They are very clear. All the necessary books accounts are very clear. Today I wonder how an auditor can go and check a local government and find whether they are functioning or not. The yardstick for audit to even function is not there in the local government because the budget is not implemented. It's only when you have budget, then you have the other necessary books of accounts that can give an auditor an opportunity to come and say, this local government is doing very well and that local government is not doing very well. But now, it's a total confusion as far as I'm concerned. Because I'm a local government. I was a local government staff.
I pray they get it. It's like, it appears you are very passionate about this topic. We will bring you and discuss more. Kano, of course, we will not go into the technicalities and all that, but it's like Kano people are going to be deprived of Daba because of political differences and all that.
Yes, to me, it's good, considering the security implication it will bring to the state. We have two sitting emirs in Kano. So who will go for the Daba and who will not go for the Daba? So the best thing is for the security to stop the Daba, at least for the interest of peace and peaceful coexistence in the state.
But to what level should, I don't want us to, of course, as I said, it's sub judice. You know, how can we have limited interference maybe in administration of Emirates? Because they play a key role, which we are going to discuss while discussing the Ranches Commission Bill in the course of the program.
You say? I
said, yeah. To what extent should governors have a say, you know, in Emirate affairs and all that? Because you can see it is because of...
this is something that has to do with law. And the laws are there. The Emirates are supposed to function under the local governments. It's very clear. The laws are there. Let's go by the books. So that things will be clear. And even if you go to the state have the powers to do laws that guide the activities of the Emirates. But there is also a condition for how the laws are going to be promulgated. But these are things that can be left for the legal people to talk about. I don't know much about the law, but me, I know with my little knowledge of local government, I know the Emirates are supposed to function under the
local government where they are domiciled.
Where they are domiciled. Their discipline, appointments, and what have you, are all in the previous laws that I know, are all under the local government services. But today, you see, because of politics,
it has turned out to be. It's like governors are becoming emperors. They have enormous powers, you know, and they are finding it difficult to manage them. All right, thank you very much, Baba. We are now going to the topic of discussion. This bill to, you know, establish the National Animal Husbandry and Ranches Commission. How did you receive it?
Well, we received it with the greatest surprise. But I don't want to say much about it now because we have already establish a committee that has a representation of all the major pastoralist groups that are now working to come up with a well-informed response to the bill. So until when the report is ready, then we may be able to talk on our position, the position the pastoralist groups are going to have as response to the bill. But for now, we have started working. I'm also a member of the committee. We have started working on it. So until when it is completed, before we can come out with a position.
What are some of the which umbrella bodies
we have the Fulbe Global. We have the representatives of Tabital Fulaku. We have representatives of Koret. We have the representatives of Pare. I represent Miete Allah Cattle Breeder Association. There is the representative of Kapdan. And all the other major pastoralist groups are all represented in the committee. So the committee is now working to come up with a well-informed response to the bill. Until when this is done, before we come up with a concrete position on our view about the entire bill.
It was sponsored by Titus Zam from Benue State. This is a state that was really averse to animal husbandry, to put it mildly. Do you foresee, well, I'm not talking about your discussion now with the other gurus, but as the national chairman of the association, don't you think he's taking it too far for a bill to come from someone from Benue, going by how it went with you during the former governor?
Well, you see, because the bill is coming from a senator from Benue State, that is why we are all suspicious about the bill. And if you study the bill, you realize nothing is being said about the position of the grazing reserves. And I don't think even livestock is even mentioned throughout that bill. All he dwelt was animal husbandry. So to me, it's like he is trying to bring in or try to extend the hatred they have for pastoralists in Benue to the national stage. I'm sorry about my statement, but to me, that is my view. So to us, pastoralists, the bill is suspicious because it is coming from a senator from Benue State. And in Benue, there was a law that was established by the former governor, open grazing prohibition and ranching establishment law, that was established about 5-6 years back. But as I speak to you now, there is no one single established ranch in Benue.
No one
single established ranch in Benue State as I speak to you now. I challenge the senator to come and tell me if there is one single established ranch in Benue, not only owned by the pastoralists. The pastoralists were chased out of Benue. A lot of them were chased out of Benue because of the law. But even the natives, there is no one single person that has established a ranch in Benue. So we felt that law is just about chasing out pastoralists out of Benue State, and they have almost succeeded in doing that. But the irony, the issue is, to whom was that law good in the state? Today we have farmers kept in IDPs in Benue. They are not allowed to go back to their farms and work. The pastoralists are no longer, who were born and brought up in that state, were no longer in the state, and some have lost all their cows as a result of the implementation of that law. So I don't think the law has done anybody any good.
So instead of saying the law established by Benue State government, instead of it being win-win, it is now maybe lost.
No win-win at all. Both the farmers and the pastoralists have suffered as a result of the law. So the law did not provide any harmony in the state. Rather, it provided trouble, frustration, and so many other things. So that is why we have a little suspicion about the law. But our attention as pastoralist groups is very much dwelt on the creation of a full-blown Ministry for Livestock and Fisheries.
So you're not even bothered about, to greater extent, about having commission. What you are looking for?
What we are looking for is the creation of a full-blown Ministry for Livestock and Fisheries to be created.
Will it make any difference?
In the country?
We have Ministry of Agriculture.
Yes, it will make a lot of difference, because rather than addressing one aspect of livestock, which is ranching, by creating a commission, why can't we go for a full-blown ministry that can address the entire livestock value chain activities holistically? If you create a Ministry of Livestock, issues of security related to livestock issues will be addressed, issues of production of livestock will be addressed, issues of processing, marketing, transportation, and so many other security activities associated with livestock issues will all be addressed. So it's by creating a ministry, it's like you are trying to exploit the enormous potentials involved in the entire value chain in the country. And when you do this, you will have a lot of value for livestock in the country. Unlike now, where compared to most of the West African countries, Nigeria is the least contributor to the country's GDP compared to most of the West African countries that have far less livestock population than Nigeria because of the neglect. So having a full-blown ministry will help exploit the enormous potentials the livestock subsector has in the economy, rather than coming up with a commission that will only address an aspect of livestock issue,
which is ranching.
Instead of that, why can't we go for a full-blown ministry? Mind you, a committee was established by Ganduje when he was the governor of Kano State. A livestock reform committee was established by him, headed by Jega, the former INEC chairman, as the chairman of that, Professor Tahiru Jega. That committee has about 30 members. I am also a member of the committee. That committee has perfected a document that was formally presented to Mr. President. We are now waiting for the implementation committee to also be established by Mr. President.
What are some of the findings in that?
Major part of our request in that reform committee is the creation of a full-blown ministry. But deep inside the document, nothing was left out in the livestock value chain. Even issues of ranching were discussed, and solutions were proposed on what type of ranching and how the ranches are going to be implemented in the country. You know, ranching has so many models. We'll have to evolve a model that can suit the peculiarities of our pastoralism. But one fact remains: a model of settlement has to be provided, because this issue of movement, we also agree, is just a matter of time. It will have to stop, because the population will continue to increase, climate change, so many other things posing a challenge to land. And the enormous demand on land by farmers and other uses is also problems that requires an effective planning on the land for both livestock producers and farmers to coexist peacefully. So having a full-blown ministry is to us is the only way out of these livestock issues in the country. Just like most of our sister countries bordering us, they all have livestock ministries.
Yes, that is the question I wanted to ask you, because in the course of the discussion, you made mention that getting value in terms of even GDP, the livestock in Nigeria is not doing enough compared to maybe Niger, Benin, and
exactly.
Is it that they have more livestock than us?
No. They have far less livestock population than Nigeria, because they are serious about it, because the government is treating it, is giving it the attention it deserves. That is why the GDP contribution of livestock in those countries ranges from 30 to 55% of those countries' economy. With their far less livestock population than Nigeria, they still contribute far higher in terms of GDP than Nigeria, because those governments are serious. because livestock is given the attention it deserves, unlike Nigeria, where the story is always neglect, neglect, and neglect. Then just recently, the issue of security also came in to affect the livestock subsector. So the entire problem with the Nigerian livestock subsector is neglect. That is why we are requesting for a full-blown ministry that can work to give the required attention to livestock issues, to the entire livestock value chain in the country, rather than going for a commission that will address an aspect of livestock issue, which is ranching.
I know that during the debate, Senator Abaribe, Senator Goje, Deputy Senate President Barrow, they all said, yeah, it's high time to actually regulate the livestock sector. But they now said this issue of relocating herders to their states of origin is where they have problem. I want to ask you, which and which states can we call belong to Fulani, or Fulani can call their own states?
Almost all the states in the northern part of Nigeria have Fulanis. They have Fulani population ranging from 30 to 40, some up to even 50 to 60%.
Now, are you basing this based on the provision of the law? Because the Nigerian Constitution says if you are in the place, is it 14 years or thereabout, you become
an indigent.
An indigent.
So because of this, we now have in all the states of the north, we have Fulanis. You can find them anywhere in the northern part of the country, and their population in each of these states ranges from 20 upwards. Maybe minus states like Benue and well, I can say only Benue.
What about Plateau?
Even Plateau has a large population of pastoralists Fulani
that were born and brought up there.
They were born and brought up there. Even in Plateau, you have so many of them. Well, in Benue, I can say the number is not up to that. But apart from Benue, come to Kaduna, there is a large population of pastoralist Fulanis in Kaduna. So also in most of the northern states. And if you go to the south, some states like Oyo and Ogun have some sort of livestock owners population in those states. But apart from that, if you go to the south, the number is negligible. In the entire south, you can hardly find a reasonable percentage of livestock of the Fulanis who live there. The reason why I always mention pastoralists and Fulanis, because coincidentally, the Fulanis are the 95% owners of the cows in Nigeria. So whenever, if you are talking of a pastoralist, you must be talking of a Fulani man. If you are talking of the livestock, in a way, you must be talking of a Fulani man. So they have population they have their presence in almost all the states in the northern part of Nigeria, and the southwest and the south. They are all there, but in their limited numbers in the south. But majorly, all the states in the northern part of Nigeria have Fulanis.
And then what about the population of cattle? Maybe estimate, because I can't remember well last we had full-blown census.
The last time a livestock census was conducted in this country was in 1991.
1991. That's about 33 years ago.
Yes, and we are still going by that statistics. So,
but we are slaughtering them every day.
And by that statistic, we still have about 20 million cows in this country.
20.
But believe me, I believe we have more than 50 million cows in Nigeria. If we can conduct an effective census today, you realize we'll have more than 50
Why
million cows.
Why are you not clamoring for that? Even though some people will ask, if they couldn't even do human census.
We have been agitating for livestock data to be created, and not only livestock data. We have also been agitating for the data of the livestock owners. Let every state know the population of pastoralists they have in their states.
Of what advantage will that be?
It will help security. If we can profile all the pastoralists in the country, get their data, know their location, it is always easy to fish out a criminal out of this number. It was always easy to differentiate between the indigenous and non-indigenous Fulanis in the country. And because of our forest borders and because of the ECOWAS protocol on free movement for transhumans, they come in, foreigners come in and go out of the country at will because they are covered by the ECOWAS protocol on transhumance, so they have the privilege to move through the transhuman routes linking the ECOWAS countries.
I see.
And due to lack of proper records we have for the pastoralists and proper records we have for the cows, so many things are bound to happen. But if we can provide them adequately in each state, know the population of cows we have in a particular state and the number of pastoralists we have in that state also, it will help security, it will help planning, it will help so many other things.
All right, thank you very much, Baba. We'll take a short break for now. Yes, viewers, don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you are just joining in, this is Daily Politics reaching you live from Trust TV. You can do well by following us across our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We still have in the studio Baba Usman Ngazarma. He's the National President, Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria. And we are discussing the clause in the bill that seeks to establish National Husbandry and Ranches Commission. Now, in what way? Because this bill has passed second reading. Assuming it scales through completely without adjustment to that clause that says Fulanis or herdsmen should be relocated to their states of origin, will it affect your fundamental human rights in any way?
Yeah, definitely yes. One other issue of concern that we are going to address by that committee is the issue of the fundamental that concerns the fundamental human rights of the pastoralists as citizens. Because they are citizens, they have the right and privilege to go and coexist anywhere in this country, as long as there will not be a nuisance and nobody will be a nuisance on them.
But they are seen as a nuisance. Why are they seen as a nuisance? Is it because no places for them across the states? I'm talking about maybe grazing lands and maybe routes and all that.
Well, the other issue of concern also that bothers us much is the position of the grazing reserves. We have areas that are designated as grazing reserves. Some have laws on them, and some don't have. We have about over 400 grazing reserves in the northern part of the country.
400?
Over 400.
In the north?
Covering an area of about 6 million hectares of land.
6 million hectares?
That are designated for grazing purposes. What will be the position of the grazing reserves? Some are being encroached now. So even before the report is out, this is my personal view, I feel the federal government should look at the position of the grazing reserves and try to preserve them, because even if you want to go on ranching, you may need land for ranching. Where is the land coming from? Since we have areas that are designated for grazing, let's take custody of these areas. Let's preserve them. Let's protect them, so that when issues of ranching comes up, we will have land that we can use to settle the pastoralists. Because you see, ranching has so many models. It's not necessary that you have to go and purchase land and provide your water and grass. This is a form of ranching. But there are so many other models of ranching.
Which one will you prefer for the pastoralists to start with? Yes.
We have to get our professionals to work on evolving a model of ranching that can suit the peculiarities of the pastoralists we have in the country. We have pastoralist population that are not educated, that are still involved in primitive system of animal husbandry because there was no attempt to teach them on how to modernize their trade. There was no attempt to even modernize animal husbandry in the country. So they were left on their own, still practicing the only thing they know as an option, roaming the wild looking for free pasture. It's never their fault. Because they are not educated on it, they don't know about it. So we have to evolve, considering these peculiarities, we have to evolve a model of ranching that can suit the peculiarities of these people. Because there has to be settlement. It is only when they settle in one place that they can even realize their importance and the importance of their trade. They can have the opportunity for their children to go to school and acquire education, and that they can modernize the trade. They can be trained on other skills apart from rearing cattle only. So that is the reason why we are calling for the protection of these reserves. These reserves are the only thing that they can hold on, because they are the only landless society in this country. They don't have land. Because even in the northern part of the country, they don't care to acquire land. That is why I'm always surprised when some people are coming out to say they have come to take over our lands. Even in the northern part of the country where they belong, they don't have land. They will stay in a place.
They just look for pasture.
They will stay in a place for 30 years. When development comes to their doorstep, the only thing they do is to move far into the forest and leave that area. Because the only thing they know to do for them to survive is look after their cows to survive, because their survival depends on the cows' survival as their only means of livelihood. So considering all these dynamics, you have to come up with a model that can suit these dynamics before they can embrace it, before you will get them settled in one place, before they will realize the importance of their trade and what their trade can do to the overall economy of the country.
Why do you think the Ruga policy, I'm even forgetting some of the names, because many names were given, especially during the Buhari administration.
Ruga, cattle colonies.
Cattle colonies. Why do you think they didn't work?
Well, it is because of the media profiling of the pastoralists.
Media?
Because
maybe excluding Daily Trust.
Some of the media houses came out to profile the pastoralists negatively for their own reason. We don't know why.
But should government succumb to needless blackmail?
It succumbed to blackmail. That was the reason why the Ruga and the cattle colony didn't work. If you can remember, Audu Obe brought in these things as a solution. Audu Obe is not a Fulani man. Audu Obe is an Idoma from Benue.
You agree with his formula?
Yeah, we did. We did, because he did them in good faith. He tried to bring a solution, but that was faced by serious attack from the public. So that, I believe that was the reason why the government rescinded from taking decision on either Ruga or cattle colony. But that is for them. Whatever name you are going to give it.
But don't you think that name is actually very important? When you do word colony, colonialism,
yes,
you say Ruga. Many believe that it is actually Fulani word, unknown to them. I think it's a rural, grazing area.
Yes,
that is the acronym Ruga.
But whatever it is, what is wrong in the name? It's just like giving a news a sensational headline to attract people to read into the detail of the news. whenever you see a headline and you go deep into the story, you realize that something reasonable is being said.
But when you say
that caption was just given to capture the attention of the public, isn't it? So, you know, some people misunderstood the use of colony. They misunderstood it as if the intention is to come and recolonize those areas by the Fulanis. Some will say they have come to take over our land. While the thing that they don't know is, even in the northern part of the country where these people belong, where the Fulanis belong, they don't have land. They are not after land. All they are after is to look after their only source of livelihood, which is the cow. For the cow to survive, and which is also necessary for their survival as well.
Why is it difficult? They are sleeping on gold mine. Because when you have like 1,000 cattle, you know that you can acquire as many hectares as you want by selling just a fraction, maybe 10% of the cattle. Why are they not willing? And then you, as their leaders, why are you not pushing for them to acquire land? Since acquiring land is legitimate.
That is the psychology. That is what we have been working on to change their psyche, to change their way of thinking, to try to educate them, to show them that today there are cows that are weighing up to 1,000 kilograms. Today there are cows that are given an output of 50 liters of milk per cow, against the ones that are given a maximum of not more than 5 liters, against the ones that we have that are outdated species that are weighing not more than 200-300 kilograms per cow, even after giving it intensive feeding and rest. So these are the things we are trying to put into their heads, for them to know that settlement is the only option. For them to have good quality cows, for them to have output of milk and meat, for them to get so much money from the business, for their children to have the opportunity to go to school and acquire knowledge, for them to have other skills that can hold on to apart from the cattle rearing. So these are the things that we have been doing, sensitizing them,
at the
union level, drawing the attention of the government to get involved in measures that can create awareness among the pastoralists that can make them.
Okay, this is very germane to our discussion, getting the attention of the government. Now, many Nigerians are still appalled by the inability of governors, especially in the northern part, to pay attention to this very important sector. Because if you believe that, okay, in your state, I don't want to call names so as not to profile, let me put it this way. If 2 or 3 states will give serious attention to serve as a good example, don't you think even states in the south, southeast, and southwest, they will embrace it? But in the north, we don't have it. Why are governors in the north adamant to actually kickstart this process?
This justifies our request for a full-blown ministry. If we have a full-blown ministry, this will compel governors to also create livestock ministries in their state.
Okay.
So this is the more reason why we are looking for a full-blown ministry, rather than taking one aspect of livestock, which is ranching, and creating a commission for it. Why can't we go for a full-blown ministry to tap out the enormous potentials that are involved in the livestock subsector, at least for government to benefit, at least for the public to also benefit from getting employment, government getting revenue. Most of these West African countries that have GDP, more reasonable GDP contribution in the countries, a lot of them depend on livestock for the survival of the entire country.
But there are quite a number of legislators from the north. They have the numerical strength to influence decision. What is your call? Should they counter this bill and then replace it with the one that will lead to the establishment of a ministry?
This is what we will call them to do, because let them know that the way our pastoralists are doing livestock business, is almost a way of life for them. And changing somebody's way of life has to be gradual. It's not like you want to switch off a life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I understand, you are calling on the members of the National Assembly, especially from northern extraction,
yes,
to push.
We know that at the end the settlement is the only solution. But this is it has to come as a gradual process. You are trying to change a way of life of an entire society that having a population of over 40 million.
40 million.
40 million. So this process must be gradual. You cannot expect them
are you saying
at their level.
Up to 40 million?
They are. You cannot expect them at their level to embrace an alien model of ranching that is capital intensive. And our legislators have to know the dynamics. 70% of the pastoralists we have in the country are smallholder farmers that are having not more than 50 to 100 cows belonging to the entire family. If you say you will venture for the capital intensive ranching, before you acquire the land and develop, the cows must have been exhausted, finished. You have to sell them to buy land. By the time you sell them, buy land, purchase, provide your own water, the cows must have gone. So to whom are you providing the ranch for? They have to understand this dynamic. They have to understand the type of the pastoralists we have in the country. For them to either support or refuse to support this bill. But what we are telling them, instead of a commission that can address only an aspect of livestock in the country, why can't we have a full-blown ministry that can holistically address the entire livestock issues in the country, including the security matters, including the potentials involved, including the development of the production to a reasonable level, either through whatever ranching or whatever model, including processing, how meat is being processed, including improving the standard of the meat to meet the standard of export, including how to bring a good management in the market in the way that government can also benefit, including how transportation of the cows can be improved in a way government and so many employments can be created, including what security, what non-kinetic measures can be applied in addition to the kinetic measure that is going on to check in the activity of criminals. So all these things are things that can adequately and address by a full-blown ministry that is created for that purpose.
All right, thank you very much. I wish we have more time to discuss this very topical issue, but then you have said quite a lot. We hope those that matter will listen and actually respond.
We hope so as well.
Thank you very much, Baba Gazaruma, National President, Mete Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
For coming to the program and for sharing your thoughts on how this bill on in the National Assembly on Husbandry and Ranches Commission should be handled. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Mr.
And viewers, that's a wrap for today's package. We sincerely hope you found the conversation engaging and informative. And be sure to join Daily Politics Live, airing every weekday, and also our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.